Slow decision-making could drive India Inc. outside the country. That's what corporates have to say. Top industry heads, they voiced their concern yet again this week, saying that India is losing its appeal as an attractive destination to do business in. There seems to be serious loss of investor confidence. Nikhil Anandar, my colleague, he sews together the growing voice of despondency amongst India's corporate houses.
When you have an environment of hope,
yes,
as opposed to an environment of, I would say despair, but not so much of great hope, you try to conserve cash. You start retreating back.
Bharti Chief Sunil Mittal's harsh assessment of India's worsening investment climate that was echoed by steel baron Ellen Mittal over the weekend, as he publicly stated that India has gone down in his list of priority countries to invest. As businessmen, both global and domestic, fight strong anti-investment headwinds ranging from retrograde policy rollbacks, lack of land and environmental clearances, continuing fuel shortages, retrospective tax amendments and a protracted period of high interest rates, investments have virtually hit a wall. Gross fixed capital formation, an indicator of investment activity, was negative in the second and third quarters of FY12, with the second quarter print being the worst on record since financial year 2005. Manufacturing projects worth over 75,000 crore rupees were stalled up to March 2012, a surge of 91%, the highest ever recorded in the industry. The ratio of stalled projects as a percentage of total projects under implementation has climbed to 10%, again the highest ever recorded. But what's a matter of bigger concern is the dip in private sector projects that fell 41% over the March 2011 quarter. Clearly, as a paralysis in decision-making wanes investor confidence, those having entered India are threatening to pull the plug.
The problem with the recommendation now is that what they are not fixing is this problem.
While others from India Inc., including the Tatas, the Ruiyas, Ambanis, the Sahara Group, as well as FMCG majors like Marico and Godrej, are looking at more lucrative destinations overseas to drive growth. But while sentiment is despondent, some are still hopeful that growth can be achieved by expediting the reform agenda.
We need to revive growth through reform and governance. I think the perception is worse than the reality. So we have to improve the reality through reforms and governance.
With ratings agencies, the government's own advisors, and now even the bigwigs of corporate India unable to keep mum anymore, will the government finally act is the big question. In Mumbai, Nikhil Anandar, NDTV Profit.
The CEO at TCS, N. Chandrasekaran, he took over as the new chairman of IT industry body NASSCOM, and he said that the government needs to get its act together. He called for stability in policy making.
We have to get our act together, whether it is in terms of policy, whether it is in terms of decision making or managing the fiscal deficit, whatever it is.
But that's where the biggest concerns are, that, you know, when at a
definitely
time
for investments coming into India, that's a big concern.
Are you also hearing a big concern that I'm repeatedly hearing expressed now, that look, we got that there were certain things that India would find it tough to do, you know, because coalition politics and democracy and the rest of it. We knew that there were some things that would be difficult, building infrastructure really fast, you know, all of that, we get it. What we didn't expect was that India would score own goals, such as this retrospective tax, which has now put the entire question of a rule of law into doubt. That's the big new elephant in the room which people seem to be scared of.
I think it's on a broader level, it's more continuity of practices, continuity of tax regime, stability of policies. All those things are concerns which we need to fix and get our act together.
So those were the big developments of the week, and some of those stories promise to run into the coming weeks as well, with further twists and turns. Be sure to tune into NDTV Profit for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching.